speakers tonight. The third didn't make it. Hope everything's okay with James. Okay, cool. And the first speaker is going to be Mr. Vincent Sevillo. And he is a 10-month-old member. He's a sergeant at arms, and he is planning on his next venture, which may be starting another company, which I'm curious about. And then after him will be Chris Clark, sorry bud, and then we've actually heard from him before, and I remember him because his speech was really inspiring, and I really liked his story leading up to Gatorade, which is cool. So first of all, Mr. Vincent.
So fellow Toastmasters and guests, age well. Is it really something that can be done? I mean, let's face it, our society tells us to run from it at all costs. And a lot of us don't even want to talk about it. I mean, I can't remember the last time I didn't turn on the TV where I don't see a commercial with some kind of magic pill that's supposed to take you 20 years back, or some kind of miracle cream that's supposed to take away all your wrinkles, or some plastic procedure or surgery procedure that can, tighten your face so much that you can go through a hurricane. Everything else is like destroyed, but your face would be perfect. But I'm here to tell you that's all noise. When did aging become a bad thing? It's a natural fact of life. It's something we should embrace and age naturally. And all that things that society throws at us doesn't work anyway. So tonight I'm going to talk to you and persuade you that the best course of action is to let yourself age. And there's some things you can do to help you age naturally. I think a lot of you have probably heard, you may have watched Oprah or a couple of these other shows, I think like Dr. Oz, and they talk about blue zones. And in these blue zones, there's people that age particularly well. And they're not taking pills, and they're not doing plastic surgery, and they're not worried about what cream they use, but they have some common traits. And those traits that they discovered, scientists, they've started to look at why these people age better than other people. The first is they stay connected with positive people, positive support. And the reason for that is as we age, we tend to deal with stress less effectively. And stress is being linked with almost every kind of disease in later years, and physical ailments. Cancer, heart conditions, anxiety attacks, all that's being linked with stress. So having positive people around you is extremely important. Not the stress people, how busy their life is, but people that actually support you. Toastmasters, I applaud you all, is a great way. I mean, I don't know about you, but I always feel good coming out of Queen City Toastmasters. Whether I've seen one of like Tim or Steve or Laura, one of the more experienced speakers speak, or I've seen someone get up there for the first time, scared out of their mind, and do an icebreaker. I mean, it's good, positive energy. So the first thing is stay connected to positive people. The second thing they found out was keep moving. Now let's face it, we're not all gym rats, and we're not all like Art who likes to run 50 miles on the weekend. But you can find something that you like that has physical activity. I mean, one of the examples they gave was gardening. Gardening itself gives enough physical activity to let you start to exercise, from whatever you do in the yard. You can walk, hike, and for those of you that are completely allergic to exercise, incorporate it into your life. Walk the stairs instead of the escalator. That's what I do now. I mean, they did a study. It was amazing. I was watching the study. They said people who stood on one foot and brushed their teeth, and then the next night they done, they did that with a test case, and then for like 20 years. And those people, against the test case that did nothing, had better joints, better strength in their legs, and had less kind of hip replacements later in life. So, I mean, it's easy to do. You just incorporate it into your life. The third thing is eat whole foods. Forget about all these supplements, 5-hour energy, it don't work. You really have to eat a variety of things. Vegetables, most of these cultures eat that. Most of them eat plenty of fruit. You can't eat enough fiber, they said, as far as lowering your insulin levels. So eat whole foods. And what I've learned from them is, one of the ways is I'm not going to sit there and look at everything I eat. It just not me. I'm not going to every calorie, I know some people are like that. But they said, pretend like you're painting a picture with your food. If you can paint a picture with your food, you're pretty much eating healthy. If you have greens, oranges, and reds, just that's the way to kind of look at it. Have all that and all the different textures, you're pretty much eating healthy. They said it's almost guaranteed 98% you have a healthy meal. So the third thing is get sleep. And sleep, I don't know when it became a luxury and not a necessity. Somewhere in our society, it's one of the first things we give up. But sleep is important because that's when your body recuperates. And when you're overtired, you're actually walking around with chronic stress on your body. So if you're overtired, you're going to be stressed the entire time until you get your sleep. So what do we say? Stress leads to all these physical elements. The other thing about it is for those of you who did participate in the improv workshop, it's a time for your creative brain to take over, which is important to allow you to rejuvenate. And the final thing they've come up with that's important in these different groups of people is never retire. Now notice I didn't say never stop working. If you want, get out of the corporate grind. But do something your entire life that is meaningful to you, whether that's volunteering, that requires critical thinking all the time, and responsibility. So they found that people who tend to keep doing critical things live a longer and more productive life. And let's face it, it's really not how long your life is all that much. It's what the quality of life is in those later years. So what did we talk about tonight? We talked about aging. A lot of times people don't want to talk about it. But I'm here to tell you, embrace it. Embrace it with all your heart because you're a beautiful creature no matter what age you are. And for those of you who are getting up older, you have a lot to offer. And you don't have to change the world with the biggest thing, but you can change people's life. Be a mentor at Toastmasters. Change a few persons' lives. And that's how you'll define your legacy. And finally, I gave you some tips that'll help you. And they're not earth-shattering. Any one of us can do it. That'll give you a better chance of living a long and productive life. And I truly wish everyone in my Toastmasters family a happy, healthy, and long, productive life. Mr. Toastmasters.